Hi guys, I'm alone in my hospital room with baby Maya. So I figured I would take that chance to make an update because I'm sure everybody's wondering where we are. Here she is. She's just adorable. So let's see. I'll give you guys kind of a quick update. I'm super tired right now. It's almost 10 o'clock. I'm so tired. And I had a Percocet, so I'm even more exhausted. But I feel amazing otherwise. But anyway, I'm going to give you a quick update because I don't know if I can do a whole update right now. But I just wanted to kind of tell you where we're at. So I'm sure I already said some of this, but I'm going to repeat it. On Thursday, what is today? Thursday, Friday. Today's Saturday, the 19th, sorry. Thursday, I went to work. I teach, you guys know that, but I had been having contractions all week, and Thursday I went to the doctor. My husband met me there with our son, and just a routine checkup. And the nurse that we had, we love, so I was really happy that we got her that day, especially. She was checking everything out. Maya looked great, heartbeat sounded great. And then she measured my stomach, and she said that the week before I had been measuring at 35 centimeters at 35 weeks. And then when she had measured me just then, I was at 32 centimeters. And so my stomach had gone down quite a bit, and so she was really concerned. So she went and got my doctor, who just... Oh, no, sorry, that's not true. She went and got some other, I don't know if it was a specialist or whatever, but that knows how to do the test where they do an ultrasound and they can measure the pockets of fluid, and they grade you on like a number scale from 5 to something, like 25 or 30 or something. And if you're between that range, then you're safe. Your fluid level is good. So she was measuring mine, and I wasn't even a 5. So in a week, my stomach had just completely shrunk. So she was still moving a lot. They set me up on a non-stress test again, and she was handling contractions pretty well. Actually, really well. Her heart rate stayed and did what it needed to do and all that stuff. But she wasn't moving as much as they had wanted. So they were grading her on a scale. I don't remember what it was called, but they give you up to 10 points, and if you, like 2 points for movement, 2 points for fluid, 2 points for the heart rate, 2 points for if they can see her practice breathing on the ultrasound. So she got like a 4 or a 6 or 8 out of 10. She didn't get a 10. So it was kind of borderline. They were like, well, your fluid is really low. By the way, I'm really sorry about my voice. I was getting sick before I had her, and now I think I'm just so tired that my voice is like, no thanks, I'm not going to work for you. But I feel fine. I just sound like crap. Anyway, sorry. So she didn't make the cut. So my doctor said, well, let's go ahead and just like call over to the hospital and talk to the at-risk preterm labor OB that's over there. So she went and called them, and they said, she's at 36 weeks. Let's have her come over and have the baby because there's no reason to risk this. That my fluid level was scary enough that they thought it was not safe. So they pretty much said, my doctor came in and she said, I love you. I care about you, and I would never do anything that would hurt you or the baby. You need to go have your baby. And she was actually there for my first delivery, too, so she remembers everything that I went through. She's the one that said C-section because of the 4th-degree tear, all that stuff. So she takes care of us. But she said, go to the hospital. So this was like at 5:30 in the evening on Thursday. Both of us had to work on Friday. We had nothing packed. The only thing we had packed was the diaper bag for her that I didn't even get to make a video of because I had just packed it like the weekend before. So bad. But we hadn't packed anything else. Like, we were still 4 weeks away. We didn't have to do all that. And I was having a C-section, so we had time. We knew what day, blah, blah, blah. Maya had a different plan. So, let's see. Rush home. I took a shower to calm myself down because my adrenaline was pumping, and we started packing bags, and Bodhi's running around like a crazy person. And we got everything packed. I think we left our house about 7:30 maybe. They told me they couldn't do the C-section before 8 o'clock in the evening because I had eaten so around noon, and they can't do a C-section within 8 hours of me eating. So we knew we had a little bit of time. So we get to the hospital. My parents meet us there. No, sorry, my parents met us at our house. And so did my sister, and we all drove over to the hospital, and they took Bodhi for us, and we went into the, I don't know if it's like the pre-op room or the whatever. And I got dressed into the gown and laid down, and they were taking all my vitals and getting all my information. And my delivery doctor came in, the one that delivered my son, different from the doctor that had sent us to the hospital. This doctor is amazing, and he came in and he said, well, I was there for your delivery. I know what you went through. I know that I would tell anybody to have a C-section after that. He said, but you are 36 weeks, and right now, according to the ultrasound, Maya is measuring at 6 pounds. Your chances of a successful vaginal delivery are very high. He said there's so many things he had against you the first time that you don't have against you this time, including a large baby with a large head. Maya was not that way, obviously. First deliveries are worse. She was my second, so it would have been easier. Obviously, prolonged labor. I wasn't in labor. I was with my son. So, anyway, he was just telling me all the things that I didn't have to worry about, and that I could very successfully have her vaginally. And I couldn't believe that because I had been thinking all along, there's no way. So he said, trust me, you can do this if you want to. Hold on, let me cover her up a little bit. Sorry, she's acting a little bit chilly. And I totally trust him, so I said, you know what? Let's try it, because I wanted a vaginal. I told you about that. And I didn't think it was possible. But for the doctor to come in and say, it is your better option, and if something is not working, we'll go have a C-section, and it's totally fine. I felt extremely comfortable with his decision. So, we decided to go for it. So, they hooked me up, and they gave me a small pill that is supposed to kind of ripen your cervix. I cannot for the life of me remember what it was called. I asked him 3 times, hoping I would remember the name of it, and I can't remember it, so sorry. But he said it's really hard to get a 36-week uterus to start contracting, but the fact that you're already contracting means this might work and this might be enough. You may not need any Pitocin. So I took the pill, and I'm not kidding, within 20 minutes I was having the most painful contractions, and they were probably 4 minutes apart. So it got very painful, and they said, you tell us when you want your epidural. If you want one, we can do it anytime. So I did. I got my epidural around 8:30 or 9 o'clock at night, I think. And he also, trying to remember. Yeah, I guess I just got my epidural. Sorry, I'm trying to remember it all. It's such a fog. Got my epidural. Waited a little while. The contractions started to slow down, which is usually what happens with an epidural. So I think it was probably midnight. He came in, and I was only 2 centimeters, I think, maybe 3. And he said, okay, I'm going to break your water, and I'm going to give you some Pitocin. And so we did that, and when he broke my water, not much came out at all. I didn't feel very much at all. He said it was really hard to break the water because it was so tight, because there was no fluid. And he's pretty convinced that my water broke days before, and we just didn't know. I have no idea. But anyway, so got the Pitocin. He left. He said, let's let this work for a couple hours, and I'll come check you. So contractions definitely started to pick up, but I didn't feel them, which was nice. And then to fast forward a little bit, because it was most of the night like that, like we just stayed up all night, and it just, it kept having contractions, but I couldn't feel it. So they came back and checked me. I was at 4 centimeters, right around, I would say, I don't know, 3 in the morning. I think I was 4 centimeters. And then after that, we, trying to remember it all, sorry guys. They increased my Pitocin, I'm pretty sure. And then they came back and checked me at about 5 a.m. And I was, I think I was still between a 4 and a 5. And so they upped the Pitocin again. And then the contractions got really intense. My epidural had started to wear off. And so and then all of a sudden I got really nauseous. And the contractions were every 1 to 2 minutes. And so we called in my nurse, and she said, well, let's dose you up again. We called in the anesthesiologist. She gave me another dose of epidural, so I was really numb. And that was like between 4:30 and 5, I think. And then all of a sudden, I started getting these contractions where it wasn't painful, but it was scary because it felt like she was coming out. Like I felt like I had to push. And so we called the doctor in, and within 45 minutes, I had gone from a 4 to a 10. And every time I contracted, every 2 minutes, it felt like she was going to fall out. So he's like, do not push, do not push, do not push. Let me get set up. Let me get everything. So they rushed and got everything ready, and I was so scared. And you guys, I started sobbing. I was so scared for me repeating what had happened before. And then I was scared for Maya. Could she breathe? What was I going to face after all of this? I just felt unprepared and terrified all of a sudden, and I could not stop crying. I was so freaked out. It just took over. And the nurse kept talking me through. She's like, don't cry. It's okay. You can do this, but you can't do it if you're crying. You have to calm down. You're going to be great. And so I tried to chill out so hard. My husband was amazing right with me. And the contractions kept coming, and then he was, he said, okay, on the next contraction, let's push. And the first push, they could see her head, so she was clearly right there. And I pushed for 4 contractions, and she was out. They had to give me a small episiotomy, but it was only a couple stitches. So amazing. So much better. He was right. She just came right out. And he put her on me, and she was crying, and she was not super tiny, you know, she looked like a baby, and she was crying and breathing, and they took her to the warming table, and nobody was freaking out. Everybody was mellow, and she was great, and I just started sobbing again, so relieved that everything had gone exactly how I wanted it to from so long ago when I wanted to have a vaginal again. It just was meant to be. It was like somebody was watching over us. So that was it. She was perfect. She passed her, oh gosh, what is it called? The test, the oxygen test and all that kind of stuff. She got a 9 out of 10 as a 36-week preemie. I mean, how much more perfect is that? So, or could that get, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So I'll do another update about her because this video is already getting too long. But that was the labor and delivery. So I will update you on her as well in my next video. But she's doing great. I'm doing great. And we're only at day 2. And we're doing awesome. So we're going to try and get some sleep. Other than that, we're awesome. So thank you for watching. Thank you for all of your support. I love reading all your comments. I'm sorry I haven't responded to any, but I am reading them, so thank you. So we're going to say goodnight for now, but we will talk to you guys soon. All right, good night, guys.